Hey guys, alright, got a 2006 Ford Explorer with the 4-liter V6. I believe this is the single overhead cam. Not too bad of an engine. Yep, single overhead cam, 4-liter. And it's a buddy of mine, and he called a couple of days ago and said that it started overheating, and he immediately pulled it over in a parking lot. I went out to take a look at it, and he had noticed also when he was telling me what had happened that the belt had come off. You know, this portion was off, and down there near the idler, the tensioner, let me get a flashlight, it had come off down there towards the tensioner. So went ahead, tested the tensioner, and the old one was the original factory part, and it was just loose. I could actually push it with my hand, so I thought, okay, tensioner went bad, so I went ahead and replaced that in the idler pulley just to be safe. And started it up, and it started squealing. Let me start this for you so you can hear the squealing. And let's see, we've got 118,000 miles on it. Alright, so you immediately think, well, not a big deal, it's just the belt. Go ahead and replace the belt. I was going to do that. And then I started watching, looking at see if I could see what was going on with the belt system. And you notice about 2 or 3 months ago he had the alternator and clutch fan replaced. And you notice right there the belt material that is shredding and coming off the alternator. So I thought, well, alright, maybe it is the belt. Maybe the belt's starting to disintegrate. But I'm going to go ahead and start it up again and show you something. It'll be kind of loud. I'll see if I can mute it while I'm editing the video, but you'll think this is interesting. And other Ford and Mercury owners, or anybody with the 4 or 4.6 liter engine, this may help. So, okay. So let's go ahead and start this up. Sometimes the squealing will subside, but I don't think it will this time. And hopefully can y'all see the harmonic balancer down there? Y'all see that wobble? There we go, that's a better angle. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. Let's see, it kind of calms down. Also, let me get the flashlight. Notice the belt. See how the belt is kind of bobbling, bouncing in and out? That's not normal. It should be dead straight. Those 2 telltale signs right there lead to your harmonic balancer being bad, either disintegrating, coming apart, and causing it to wobble, shaking the belt, and causing all kinds of havoc. But basically, even just at a visual inspection, you see the balancer down there, you see how it's all chewed up and absolutely just horrendous. That needs to be replaced. So I went out, bought the new balancer. This is a Dorman part number 594236. And of course, a new belt from AutoZone. Total came to $150.45. And the interesting thing about this is there is a couple of coupon codes online that if you ordered this and the belt online and had it shipped to your house, total price with free shipping and after tax was going to be about $120. So not a bad deal. But the balancer comes with a new Woodruff key, and of course, this huge balancer. We'll have to clean that off. Looks like somebody left a fingerprint. Alright. This one looks pretty good. That's a lot of rubber. One thing you want to check for is just make sure it's not completely chewed up and gone. Even though it's a new part, there can be problems with it. This one looks pretty good. So it's nice that it comes with a new key, but it does not come with a new bolt. And from what I understand and what I've read, the bolt is a torque to yield bolt. So when I pull the old one out, I'm going to take a look at the bolt and see if the threads are okay. I may reuse it, or I may get another bolt. Ford, of course, wants like $23 something for a brand new bolt. And I don't know if I can get a grade 10 or above bolt with the same thread or pitch that I'll need. But you know, once I get in there, I'll see what it looks like. In any case, new balancer, new belt, and we'll get to work on this guy and get my friend back on the road. But I think what I'm going to do, let's get up underneath it, see what it looks like under here. Hopefully I don't have to remove too much. Should be a fairly straight shot. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't give me a lot of room for my puller or my installer, so I may have to end up. Alright, as you can see, I took the radiator overflow tank off, repositioned the power steering pump, took the upper radiator fan shroud off. That was just 2 bolts, one on this side, one on the other side, and I just slipped it through with the fan on. I went ahead and took the clutch fan off, and as you can see, that gives me a ton of room to work in there. Now the clutch fan, for you guys that want to know, is left-hand thread. So you turn it counterclockwise to remove it, and then clockwise to tighten it. And unfortunately, I didn't have the spanner wrench the right size, so what I used was my air hammer with a bit, and on one of the shelves of the nut that hold the fan on, I just hammered it down and it loosened it, and once it was loose I was able to spin the fan and it turned right off. Just make sure there is a bracket that bolts down right here for a sensor. Just take this bracket off so that you can remove the entire assembly. See, there's the bracket right there. You can remove the entire assembly without having to worry about undoing this or taking this plug out. But check the fan. The fan looks good. Pretty happy with it. Alright, so once those are out, I'm going to go ahead and take the belt off, and the belt is really easy to do. You just put a 3/8" ratchet in there. Let me show you real quick. I won't be able to do this filming it, but basically, there you go. and then you turn it counterclockwise and it loosens the belt, and then from there you can take the belt off and put it to the side. Oh, one side note, I have to thank my friend Daniel. This tool is awesome. This is a Husky, a Cobalt from Lowe's, and this thing has been a lifesaver. Has a flex head on it. It's a 3/8 inch ratchet, and this thing is nice. It really gets in there, and of course the length of it gives me a ton of torque, so thank you, Daniel. That thing is amazing. And the extension too. Now of course a little backstory on this is when he sent it to me, it was so brand new and pretty I didn't want to use it, and after some thought and a little pep talk from the wife, she reminded me that gifts are given to be used, especially tools, and it would be an insult. And since then I've loved every day using that thing. Alright, now that we've got a better shot of the harmonic balancer, let's take a look. Yeah, you can see that thing is absolutely chewed up. Okay, I'm back with you. I got the center bolt out of the harmonic balancer. This is a 19 millimeter, and with the radiator in, you're going to want to you can use a breaker bar and then lock the engine, or an impact. And what I ended up doing, my impact was too deep, so I was afraid I was going to hit the radiator fins and destroy it. So I ran up to Harbor Freight, and with a series of coupons, 20% off, and then I think they had this one on $69.99 coupon. Bought this bad boy. It is a 3/8 inch impact with 300 foot-pounds of torque, and put that on there and busted it right off. I'm really impressed with this guy. I didn't think it would have what it took, and I was getting ready to remove the radiator and thought, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Worst case, I buy a new 3/8 inch impact, but luckily I don't have to remove the radiator, thankfully. Anyways, with that said, I want to let you know that bolt is left-hand thread, so counterclockwise to remove it, and of course clockwise to put it in. Looking at the bolt, I'm going to go ahead and reuse it. The threads look okay. You can definitely tell it's been torqued, but I don't think we're going to have a ton of problems with it. So I'll go ahead and reuse this one. I've seen torque to yield bolts far worse than this, so I think save some money there and reuse this guy. Shouldn't be a problem. So now what I'm going to do to pull the old one off, it's pretty similar to this. You're going to have a series on the factory ones. You're going to have 4 holes. 2 of them are going to be threaded and 2 are just dummy holes. But what you're going to want to do is get your puller set, and I'll show you real quick. And of course there's a ton of YouTube videos on this stuff, so don't worry about me showing you the exact way to use it, but I'll do my best. But what you're going to want to do is, I don't know the pitch size on that. Let's try this guy. This is of course on the new one. The bolt holes are down there. Yeah. What you're going to want to do to pull it off, of course, set your puller on there. Put your bolts down in there. Of course, I'll have a washer, and I'll have another bolt down here. And then from here, you're going to want to get, of course, it's getting more complicated than I wanted to. Sorry, guys. You want to get this hole lined up with your hole down there. So you're going to have to move this universal puller around. that's about the gist of it. Okay, and then you're going to want to take your center bolt and thread it down the middle. Now, this will of course pull the harmonic balancer out, but the trick is get all this stuff back out of the way. Alright, as you can see, I've got it starting to separate down there. You can see the where the pulley, the base of the pulley attaches to the block, and you just start to see the crankshaft. But the way I've got it is I've got the pulley bolt in there, about 6 or 7 threads, and then the actual puller bolt is pushing on the top of that head. So there will be a point where the harmonic balancer gets to the bottom of its bolt and it'll stop turning, so you'll have to take the puller off, thread it out just a couple more, and put this back together, and then start pushing on that the head of the bolt to push the harmonic balancer, or pull the harmonic balancer out. It will get to a point, I'm probably guessing maybe another ½ inch to an inch, to where I'll be able to wiggle it off. But for right now, I've just got some massive leverage to allow me to pull on this. And a ratcheting box end really helps here, because as you don't have to worry about taking off, the wrench and getting a good grip. You can just pull it back and then push it, which really helps a ton. And just take your time. Alright, got it pulled off. You see down there, and let's take the old one. You can see it was really chewed up, and that's just horrible. No wonder it squealed and the belt bounced around and finally slipped off. Take it and put it next to the new one, and just make sure you got the same height and the belt grooves line up, and then your seal lines up. You should be okay. Your tone ring, I'm going to keep an eye on this one for the crankshaft position sensor, and make sure that it's not throwing any codes, because I notice on the factory it is substantially larger or longer or wider than this guy. So we'll see if it throws any code. But interesting enough, the Napa and AutoZone parts are exactly the same. So worst case, this doesn't work, I can pull it off and take it back, and then just go with the factory one. I don't want to go with the factory one, because even with the updated balancer, I've seen a lot of complaints about it tearing up under 50,000 miles. So let's see if this one seems like it's going to last a little longer. We'll see. But basically, I'm going to get my installer and press this one onto the crankshaft. One thing to remember. Well, I'm going to try my magnet, see if I can get you a shot down here. There is a Woodruff key still in the crank that you want to make sure you pull out. And it is, I don't know how well this is going to pick it up, but it is right there. Come on. Now, try to grab it with a pair of needle nose. Do not forget being a pain in the... Okay, I took the dampener, the new one, and greased the spline up on the outside and the inside, which is a little bit of grease. You don't have to use much, just give it a little lubrication, and now I'm going to set it on there. Just make sure the Woodruff key on your crankshaft lines up with this slot, this keyway here, and then it slides in there, and then you use your press tool. Alright, so after getting it pressed on, so basically what I did to get it pressed on, I'm sorry I didn't get video of it, I used a long bolt through this and had this on the outside of the harmonic balancer and pushed it in that way. Well, of course, tightening the outside nut against the puller portion and pushing it on. Once you get it on, the torque specifications are 33 foot-pounds and then 85 degrees. So basically what happens is when you go to torque it, the engine of course is going to try to turn over. You can take off the inspection plate on the transmission and put something in there on the flywheel to lock it up so the crank doesn't turn. But I saw this on YouTube and I thought, what the heck, might as well try it. I wrapped the belt around the pulley, double wrapped the belt, brought it up around the alternator, and then put it on the tensioner. And as you can see, I've got plenty of tension on the belt, but it's just wrapped around the crank pulley, the harmonic balancer, the alternator, and the tensioner. And that gave me enough where I could get my torque wrench in here. Okay, now that's at 33 foot-pounds and 33, 34, and then I want to bring it as close to 85 degrees turning. Sorry, hard to do one-handed. Okay, there we go. So now that that thing is torqued down, I can go ahead and start to... Alright, once you get everything back in, like your clutch fan, and remember your clutch fan is left-hand thread, so lefty-loosey to take it off, righty-tighty to tighten it on. Assemble everything and then start it up. Now of course you can start it up without assembling everything, just don't let it run too long since the clutch fan isn't going. But let's see what it sounds like. Okay, go ahead and start it up, big guy. Start it. There we go, nice and quiet, just like it should be. Just make sure the belt's tracking properly and everything looks good. No bouncing on this belt right here. So that's good. And the pulley looks good. Let me get a light real quick. Pulley looks good. And no bouncing. So there it is. Pretty easy job. Had I not taken a lunch break, it might have taken me about